I'm Charisse LeClaire. The September 9th primary is right around the corner, and we want you to be informed. CBS 3 Springfield, The Republican, MassLive.com, and New England Public Radio have joined together to bring you a detailed look at the candidates running for public office. Now here's the Republicans' Rob Rizzuto to introduce us to candidates running for office here in Western Massachusetts.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for this edition of the 2014 Campaign Roundtable Series. I'm politics reporter Rob Rizzuto, and before we meet the candidates today, I'd like to introduce you to our panel of expert journalists. From New England Public Radio, we have Henry Epp, and we have the Republicans' editorial writer, Ron Chamelis. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
And to my left, we have the 5 Democratic candidates running to represent the 1st Hampden-Hampshire District in the Massachusetts State Senate. First to my left is Eric Lesser. He is a former aide for President Barack Obama, and he's a Longmeadow resident. And then to his left is James Chip Harrington. He's a corrections officer and a school committee member from Ludlow. And further to his left, we have Springfield City Councilor Tim Allen, who is also a professor at both Springfield College and Elms College, teaching business classes. Then to his left, we have Aaron Saunders, who is a former Ludlow selectman and the former chief of staff for State Senator Gail Kinderas, who is actually holding the seat but not running for re-election. And then to his left, we have Tom Lachiusa. He's an active member of the Longmeadow Democratic Town Committee, and he is a counselor at the Hampden County House of Corrections. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us today. We really appreciate you coming by.
I just want to correct you on one thing, Rob. I'm not a corrections officer any longer. I'm a small business owner.
Oh, is that right? Oh, thank you very
former
much.
corrections officer.
All right,
I still
Jim,
am a selectman in Ludlow.
Oh, is it? Wow. We'll get that all straight right off the gate. Apologize, gentlemen.
No problem.
All right. Well, the first issue we are going to tackle here is one that's very important in Western Massachusetts particularly. We're going to talk about casino gambling. In 2011, the state legislature passed a law that basically allowed for the licensing of up to 3 resort-style casinos and 1 slots parlor in the Commonwealth. The legislation was written in such a way that the representatives and senators thought that it would spur economic development around the sites of the actual casinos. Here in Springfield, the voters last July approved an MGM Springfield casino that would be placed in the heart of the South End. Right now, there's an active repeal effort and a ballot question that will be coming up in November, but whether or not the law will stand. What we'd like to know is where you stand on the topic of casinos. Basically, are you going to vote to uphold or repeal the casino law? And for this issue, Eric, we can start with you.
Great. Well, thanks for having me, Rob. I really appreciate it. I'm going to vote against the repeal. So to make that clear, because they made the wording confusing, that means I support keeping the casino in Springfield, and I'll tell you why. I don't think it's fair for Eastern Massachusetts to have veto power over decisions that have already been made in Western Massachusetts. The people of Springfield passed a referendum in support of casinos. It's now our obligation to make sure that that casino gets done correctly, that there's oversight, and that MGM lives up to its promises. I don't think it's fair that we then go to a statewide referendum after the whole process has worked its way through, where 85% of the voters live in the Boston area, who then get veto power over a decision that's already been made in Springfield. So I'm against the repeal effort, but I'll say this as well. You know, I believe that our economic strategy here in Western Massachusetts has to go far beyond casino gambling, and that's why my campaign has been focused on the big things we need to do to create middle-class opportunity here in Western Massachusetts. That involves a high-speed rail link between Boston and Springfield. Let's get all those people from Boston out here to visit the casino using our rail link, and improving high-tech manufacturing and our education infrastructure. Those are the things I want to focus on.
Supporting the casino, okay. And Chip?
Yeah, many similar answers there as well. I'm going to support the casino. I want them to stay here in Springfield, so I'll be voting against the repeal as well, too. But I've got a little bit of a different take on it. I don't count myself as really an enthusiastic supporter of casinos. I do feel that the legislation was a bit flawed right from the start. I think 3 casinos throughout the entire state is oversaturation, and also considering the fact that you have Connecticut, New York, and New Hampshire, Connecticut already existing, and other states already pursuing it legislatively. I think it's going to be a bit much. But having that said, Springfield has played by the rules, and so has an MGM. They've done everything that they had needed to do to get to where they are right now. It supports local vendors. MGM is promising to support local vendors in this area. And they're promising about the jobs, about creating jobs in this area. And as Mr. Lesser said, it's not the answer to what we need right now, but it is a bit of a shot in the arm. So I like to see the casino as a small component of a larger economic development package that the city of Springfield needs. So I will be voting to keep the casino process alive here in Western Massachusetts. But having, giving much thought to this, as a state legislature, my job is going to be holding MGM accountable 7 and 10 years down the road.
Make sure the promises are upkept.
Exactly. They have a plan. They have a 7 to 10-year plan right now. And it's going to be up to the local legislators in this area to hold them accountable for the promises that they're making us now. I'm not going to let them off the hook at that point.
All right, thank you. Tim, topic of casinos.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. As a member of the Springfield City Council, I was part of the process. The mayor made the recommendation for MGM, and then it came to the council. And we voted unanimously in favor of the casino. My vote was one of them. And as the lawyer for the city told me, I was the hardest vote to get. When they had my vote, they knew they had everybody. The reason I voted for it is that the jobs and economic benefits are just too big to ignore. 2,000 construction jobs, 3,000 permanent jobs, 17 million in tax revenue annually to the city, 8 million in other benefits to the city, 50 million, $1 million a week to vendors, etc. Hopefully most of which will be local, as Chip just said. So I'm in favor of the casino, but I'm also in favor of generally economic development in the region. And my economic development plan, which is on my website, talks about early education, which is critical to our economic development for the future. All the studies say that. Also talks about precision manufacturing, which is here in today's headline. 1,700 precision manufacturing jobs will be available. So we need to be really paying attention to other economic development besides the casino. But I am in favor of keeping the casino there. To clarify, as Eric said, the wording is unusual. I will vote against the repeal.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Aaron, topic casino gaming. Where do you come down on this?
I'm in support of the casino, and Senator Kondaris' chief of staff had the opportunity to work on the legislation. And a lot of the focus gets put on the 3 casinos and the siting and the process. What gets lost in this is the other components. Millions of dollars in local aid, funding for transportation infrastructure. For the first time, a serious investment in gaming addiction treatment. And these are some of the benefits of the law, of the good work that the legislature did that hasn't been in the headlines. For Springfield, this means thousands of jobs, millions of dollars in investment in our local economy. And that's a good thing. It doesn't fix everything by a long shot, but it's a component of a larger picture for Springfield's rebound from the Great Recession. And we see this with announcements seemingly weekly now, whether it's from the mayor's office, whether it's from the chamber, of the good things that are happening here in the region. This is going to be a component of it, and I hope it moves forward.
Thank you very much, Aaron. Tom, topic of casinos.
Well, yes, it was a hard decision for me personally because I see a lot of people with addictions. I work in a jail, and I can see the damages it causes. But I think it's a very exciting time for Springfield. I'm really excited about it. I think it's a good thing. I've had so many people over the years say, oh, Springfield, I've driven through there on the way to Vermont or on the way to the Cape. So it'll be exciting for them to stop. My own sister said, oh, with the casino, I'll be coming to stay there. So I think it's good, and it opens up other opportunities. When you go on vacation, you usually want artwork. People buy art, and we have a lot of local artists, and I'd like to see some of the empty buildings in Springfield turned into galleries, and workspace for artists. The other thing is that, I've been here, and from the first few days I was here, I heard about Springfield's train station, how beautiful it was. Still never been in it, but I'm really excited about the possibility that a casino could really bring trains into the area and open them up. Now, trains are a federal issue. This is not a state issue, but I'm really excited about it. And again, as Aaron was saying, we need to get services in place for people who do get in trouble. A person who wins their yearly salary in a week is at high risk of addiction. And so we really need to have services ready for them. But for the most part, I think it's going to bring a lot of happy people into town. I would look forward to the music and entertainment that's going to be showing up, and I think it's going to be good for the city.
Gotcha. So for a variety of reasons, all 5 of our candidates they'll be voting to uphold the casino law as it stands now. Mm-hmm. As you guys had mentioned, the wording is a little bit confusing. If you vote yes, then you're voting to repeal the casino law. Yes actually means no, and no means yes. It is kind of confusing. You really have to pay attention to the nuances of wording when you hit the voting booth that day. Gentlemen, thank you very much. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back in a few moments.